Goblin Squire from Goblin Squire Creations here again. And today I'm going to be doing a little unboxing review video of Greebo Games. I recently got some miniatures from them. Nothing free, nothing incentivizing me to do this. All paid for. Technically a gift from my wife, so she paid for it, not me. But this is an unbiased review, so yeah, you can hopefully take everything I've said and run with that. So, as I said, Greebo Games today. Greebo Games is an Italian manufacturer of minis. They kind of focus on fantasy football, compatible with but legally distinct from any other games that you might know. From my point of view, I'm going to be using these for Blood Bowl. They work very well with that, I think, and that's why they were bought for me. But yeah, they're compatible with any of those kind of game systems. First thing, before I look at any of the minis specifically, I'm going to actually talk a little bit about the packaging because I'm quite impressed here. Sometimes you get minis in boxes which are far, far larger than they need to be. You get so much wasted material, wasted plastic, wasted cardboard, everything else. But this one I'm really pleased with. So you can see here, it's just a little cardboard box. It says single miniatures here, so I didn't buy a team, anything like that. These are individual miniatures. But if I open it up, you can see that it's all just in a small packaging here, well compartmentalized, well protected, nothing's been damaged, and it doesn't take up far more space than it needs to. So I'm really impressed with that. But I'm going to look at some of the minis in particular. So there's some minis in here that I just showed you. I've also, I don't know if it's, there was some slight delays in shipping, nothing major by any means, but they also sent with it a little, you can see there, a gift, which I'll look at as well. They were really good in terms of communication actually at the moment. There's lots of things going on, obviously, so you can't really argue with a few days delay. But yeah, they sent that along as well, so that was really good. So, my team that I'm playing in Blood Bowl is Orcs and Noblars, which is a relatively new team. But it means that one of the minis here actually is kind of for the team. The rest are kind of auxiliary people. There's sort of coaches, referees, things like that. So I'll show you all of them, and there'll be, yeah, there's some really cool minis in here, I have to say. Overall, I'm really impressed with the crispness and the clarity of the detail. They're metal minis that I've got here. They make metal and resin minis. And I've worked quite recently with some metal minis that have been a little, well, the quality hasn't been great. The details have been quite hard to make out. They're just not that much fun to paint with. But these, I have to say, are very different. So I'll show you them. It's a little hard to make out sometimes with unpainted minis. But this is an ogre. Who'd have thought it? I'm in Scotland and it's too bright to see what's going on really. But yeah, some really good quality on there. He's got a little hog's head on his belt. They come with slots and slotted bases, so no concerns there. He doesn't have his, there's a few little bits here, so he doesn't have his hands on at the moment. There's also shoulder spikes to go on there. But yeah, he's a really nice looking mini. It's quite a nice big ogre, which is really good. And as I say, the details on here, you can see the belt, you can see the kind of spikes on there. If I get you some shots of some of his armor and things like that. So there's some really good quality on there. So that'll be a really nice addition to, I already have some Games Workshop ogres, but it's nice to have that bit of variety in there. I'm also going to show you up next is a gorilla. So his arm down here is not attached at the moment. But yeah, again, some really good detail on there. There's chain across his back. His shoulder pads are actually bananas. One of the things I really like about these minis, as well as the level of detail, is they've got a really good sense of humour about them. So as I say, there's this shoulder pad here, you can just about see is actually made of bananas. And he also has bananas along his belt. And he's quite short and squat, this guy. I'll just show you, I won't put him in the base because he's got that little bit attached, but just as a size comparison between the ogre and the gorilla. So there's quite a big discrepancy, but the gorilla is much wider, much broader, and I think he's going to be a lot of fun to paint up as well. After that, we have some different little miniatures here. So this guy comes in a lot of parts, so it's hard to see. I'll put some pictures up on the screen so that you can actually see what these look like a bit better. But this is a kind of a witch doctor healer. He's got all of his head things are in there, but again, some really nice detail, which again you can't really see. The challenge of unpainted metal minis. But yeah, he looks great as well. I'm really pleased with that. One that I'd had my eye on for a little while on the website, and I'm really excited that I've now got is a I was going to say a Medusa, I suppose a Gorgon referee who is brandishing a card. I'll have to decide what colour I'm going to paint the card. Brandishing a card with one of the snakes on her head, which I just think is a lovely touch. The card is still attached here, but you can kind of attach it on the top there, and it's a lovely touch. And again, it's a great kind of sense of humour, really, about these things. I've also got a blind referee with a guide lizard, and a goblin who is busy cleaning the armour, the equipment for the team. The fact that he'll be bigger and more impressive than my tiny little Noblars on my team is irrelevant. But he looks great. He's polishing up a helmet as it's going along. And the extra little gift that I got, I mentioned that I got one, was he's a lizard, a crocodile, I guess, and he's a big old guy, this one. And again, some of the detail is quite hard to make out, but he's carrying around snacks and drinks. He's a vendor in the stadium, and I think again he'll be a really nice touch. It'll be really nice to have not just my team painted up, but some people around the stadium. Just to kind of make it feel a bit more live and real, really, which would be really nice. And again, just as a size comparison, this vendor lizard is a pretty sizable chap. He's not quite as big as the ogre, but he's pretty impressive as well. So overall, I have to say I'm really impressed with the stuff from Greebo Games. I think they do focus on the fantasy football side of things. So if it's not your cup of tea, if it's not something you're into, then they may not have as much stock which is of interest to you. But if you are interested in that, or even just using some of the things here in a slightly different way. I mean, I was thinking, for example, the ogre there would make a really good kind of gladiator for a D&D game, something like that, where you have a big, fierce ogre. You could even have him as a Goliath, I think, something like that. So there are a few different options, but they definitely do cater primarily for the fantasy football market. But I think the level of detail on here, the level of quality is very high. So if it is the kind of thing you're interested in, I definitely would recommend checking it out. Thanks, everyone.